Hi, welcome to the PoliticAL update with me, Alexandra Acker-Lyons. I pay attention to the political news so you don't have to. This is the advice I give my millionaire clients, and you get it for free. It is Friday, July 10th. So much candidate news this week. Maine, hello. Graham Plattner, may this be the last time we say his name, has indicated he will drop out of the Maine Senate race after very credible reporting about multiple sexual assaults. Just the unbelievable hubris and ego of this man who has lied to people for months, who thinks he gets a say in picking who replaces him on the ballot, who thinks he started a movement. Get the fuck over yourself, buddy. It's really appalling. I really blame him first. I blame his campaign consultants and et cetera, as well for not vetting and a lot of people for kind of just glossing over all these red flags. But ultimately it comes down to this guy just being an egomaniac and a liar. And I am really proud of the way the Maine Democratic Party has handled this with transparency and putting together a process. And those details are still being worked out, but they're communicating with people about what it's going to look like and trying to be very inclusive with this process instead of just having the Central Committee take a vote. So I am personally backing Shanna Bellows and trying to kind of help her rally up some support. I think she's a great consensus candidate who can really unite Mainers. But this is for Mainers to decide, as they also keep reminding us, as they should. And I get a lot of questions about, can we still win Maine, et cetera, et cetera. We're actually in better shape with him not as the nominee. Even before these most recent allegations came out, recent polling had showed him trailing a generic Democrat, had shown that he does not have some miracle touch in persuading and turning out white working class voters. His base was white college-age voters, college-educated voters, rather. Obviously, dead in the water now, good riddance. So I feel confident that this process will yield a candidate everyone can support. We will turn our attention back to defeating Susan Collins, and we will need to go raise a lot of money for whoever it is. Sorry, my dog Banana is being a lot this morning. Okay. Also this morning, the Political Report moved 5 governor's races. OHIO, now a toss-up. Woo! Amy Acton. They moved Arizona to lean Dem, which is phenomenal, but we're still going to need a lot of money and a lot of work to win. Banana agrees. New Mexico and Maine are now solid Democrat, and they moved Oregon from solid to likely Democrat, which we saw also happen with other prognosticators, largely an indication just of the amount of money being poured into Oregon because they do not have any limits on how much you can give in state races. Also, Ken Paxton may have committed voter fraud in Texas by lying about his residence and voting from there multiple times. It is always Republicans committing the voter fraud in the incredibly rare instances when there is voter fraud. So, that's an interesting story. And James Tallarico broke fundraising records by raising $30 million last quarter. Good for you, buddy. We are going to need every penny if we have a chance of flipping Texas. In other political news, the Downballot, huge fan, you've heard me talk about them before, released their presidential performance by congressional districts, and it includes the recently redistricted districts. This is incredibly helpful data. I will put a note in the notes. I will put a link in the notes. I clearly have not had enough caffeine today. And it's, it's one data point. And 2024 was not a wonderful year for Democrats, but, we need all the data points to help us expand the map and figure out where it makes sense to be making some big plays. We are back at war with Iran. And I obviously don't want to lose sight of the human toll there in the area and potential retaliation strikes and all of that. But the politics of this are just terrible. And Donald Trump just does not give a shit. Like, he just does not care that because of him, Americans are paying so much more for things like gas and fertilizer. And that every time, he throws a little hissy fit, the markets react. And it's just really bad overall. And but he seems to believe he has no consequences because Congress is not giving him any. Is Mitch McConnell brain dead? Don't know. Real weird that we have to ask that question. All these Republicans saying that they talked to him, but no one's releasing a phone call recording or a picture of him, or anything. So very odd. In good news, I had a lot of really interesting conversations this week, about innovative programs and tactics and trying new things. And I think we just all need to be really humble in this moment about what we know and what we don't know. Be willing to experiment. Be willing to put money into things that we don't know if they're going to work. You can't run a randomized control experiment. Politics is both art and science, and we don't always have exact data points for everything. And that's okay. We got to learn. We got to experiment. Yeah, I have faith. My shout out of the week goes again to the Maine Democratic Party. They did not have this on their bingo card. They are going to have to run an entirely new caucus or convention. All eyes are going to be on that process. Give them a little bit of money if you can. I will put a link in the notes. But this is democracy, and sometimes it's messy. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a great week. Bye.